I might have been friends with Nasser
Wait,
before.
we are live, Rivka. We're live. And I told you we're going live. Jesus. Okay. So we are live. We are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch at the same time. At the same time, three places at the same time. This is the first time we're doing this. So if you're watching us on one of these platforms, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, go follow us in other places as well. Link in the description, unless you're on Twitch, which doesn't have description for some reason. Susanna is not here, but who cares? Yeah, white people. Who cares, right? Every time one of you is missing, I actually, other than Rivka, every time one of you is missing, I tell people who cares about Hindus and who cares about white people. But when Rivka is missing, I can't do that, guys. When Rivka is missing, I can't do that to her people, because then YouTube is like, oh yeah, sorry, let's remove this channel. But we have a new member today. Danielle is a new member. Wow, it's so good. Thank you. MP is already a member. So member means on YouTube, there's a now next to the subscribe button, there's a join button. That, can you believe we're monetized on YouTube? We're monetized even with all the stuff that I think Rivka talked to her people, and now she made it so they forgave us for all our sins, and now we can. Guys, that's a joke, please, YouTube. But now there is a join button next to the subscribe button. That means if you join as a member, that will support us financially. But do not support us financially. Do not support us financially if you're struggling financially. Some people are like, oh, I'm struggling financially, but maybe I should support you guys a little bit, just $1 a month. No, if you have credit card debt, if you don't have savings, what the hell are you thinking? Why are you support us financially? Do not. Okay, stay away. Just like and share and subscribe. That's a lot of help. Okay, that's enough. Okay. Do not support us financially in that way. One thing else before we jump into the news, I want to mention Subham's YouTube channel, which link is in the description. He talks about Hindu related stuff and trans related stuff. He just recently uploaded a video about this girl who shared picture of Jesus and Ram kissing, right? She's your friend, right?
I mean, I know her, mutual friends.
You know her. And she's getting a lot of threats in India because, Jesus and Ram is like Hindu god, right? She's getting a lot of threats for that, and he did a video on that. So if you're interested in atheism versus Hindu stuff, or Hinduism in India, and the relationship with trans and gay related stuff, check out his channel. Link in the description. Rivka is also might at some point start videos about Jewish related things. But her social media is in the description. But maybe one day she also have a YouTube channel, so I'll include that when she has that. But go follow her as well, because if I don't say that, her people. No, never mind. Okay, never mind.
Okay, wait. So some people were asking about Susanna in the comments. So
no, yeah.
Hashtag Team Susanna if you miss her.
No, cancel white people. That's why we're trying to be. There's new things going on, and people are telling us that
we're decolonizing the show.
Yes, we're decolonizing the show. We're trying to, with this whole wokeism growing, we realize that one white on the panel is too many whites, right? So Lisa is saying congratulations to our new join, to our new membership on YouTube. Yeah. Thank you, Susanna. Thank you, Lisa. Anyways, enough with the fluff, right? Let's go into the news. I know Susanna's voice is much more pretty, so you have to deal with my annoying voice today. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so the first news. What's the first news? Polish towns that declared themselves LGBT free are denied EU funds. The European Union will not provide funding to 6 Polish towns that have declared themselves LGBT free zones, a rare financial sanction of a member nation for issues related to equal treatment of its citizens. This is a quote, begins here. EU value. EU. Oh, Guys, if you're not speaking, mute your microphone. Jesus. Sorry, Rivka, don't be angry with me. Don't send. Never mind. EU values and fundamental rights must be respected by member states and state authorities. End quote. Helena Dalli, the European Union Commissioner for Equality, wrote on Twitter, the Polish authorities that adopted LGBT-free zones or family rights in quotations, family rights resolutions fail to protect those rights, she wrote, and their funding applications has therefore been rejected. Okay, what do we think about this?
Well, I know that
Why so much background noise today, Rivka?
Let Chopin go first.
Subham, you go first. In fact, why did even Rivka try to speak first? Isn't this LGBT related? Shouldn't we shouldn't we go to our LGBT member? By the way, before you speak, before you say, I want to say, Ethan, we got a new member. Ethan is our new member. Yes, Ethan, thank you so much. Anyways, go on.
Oh yeah. So I think it's a good thing that they did this, because I mean it's so, like, first of all, nowhere can be an LGBT free zone. There will always be people. They will just not come out, and it will be a serious, like, if these zones like stay LGBT free as they calling themselves, then it will be really a serious thing about the mental states and mental health for the queer kids, especially because they will grow up like in this very restrictive society where they will be led to think that they have something wrong in themselves. They are somehow not okay, they are not normal, and things like this. And I think this will be really, really bad for the queer youth. And so this is I just think like the EU is doing like a good thing, not giving them funds for this stance.
Right. So let me tell you what I hear a whole bunch of anti-LGBT right-wing people usually say. Again, hashtag not all right-wing people, not all. Don't come at me if you're right-wing and be like, Armin. So they step when they a lot of right-wing people say, like, listen, I'm not against gay people or trans people. I'm just against LGBT, A, B, C, D alphabet whole. Like they all usually make that joke as well, right? They're like, the LGBT agenda is not, and pro-gay. That's just like they say, like this is like an agenda to come and change people's way of living, and it's a political thing. I'm okay with. I love gay people. I love trans people. They should be able to live the way they want. But this LGBT is not about that. That's what they say. And usually they stop at actually saying what they really mean. Sometimes, and what they really mean is that this is that Rivka's people. You know what? I don't have to say the things that triggers a YouTube algorithm. I could just say Rivka's people. Okay, Rivka's people. That this is like a conspiracy by Rivka's people to destroy families, right? That's what they usually think. Okay, especially in countries like Poland and Hungary, they do feel that, and they usually, because they also don't want to say, just like me, who I'm not saying it, they also don't want to say it, so they say Soros. Soros is their key word for those people, right? So that's what they usually think. Anyways, Rivka.
Okay.
I wanted to mention one more thing. Like the good news. There's one good news.
Subham is being anti-Semitic, but go on.
The left wing members of the parliament in Poland, in order to oppose this thing like free LGBT zones, they decided to wear LGBT like color coded codings, the rainbow, and that they're just showing solidarity with the community just to oppose this thing. So that's, I think, like there are people to oppose this.
I also want to clarify for the idiots who think that I'm saying these conspiracy theories, because some people might actually think that. I'm just telling you what these conspiracy theories are. I know they're ridiculous. I hope so nobody in the live chat thinks I actually believe in this. Anyways, Rivka.
Okay. I was going to say there's been a lot of this new anti-gay stuff in all parts of the Soviet or Eastern Europe, rather. That's kind of church related, but also nationalist related. And you're right that there is this whole, globalist conspiracy theories amongst a lot of right-wing people and also left-wing people, but they like the gays. These people with their globalist Soros conspiracies, don't like the gays. But I think that Chopin's correct. I mean, if you're part of the European Union, you have to abide by certain set of rules within that whole member states. And if you're not willing to do that, then you don't get a share of everybody's money. So that makes sense to me in terms of redlining people and saying, if you're gay, you can't live here. Which is very similar to all kinds of other discriminatory practices that happen. If you're Jewish, you can't have this job. If you're Muslim, you're not allowed to live here. If you're black, you can't, come into this community at night. I mean, this isn't anything we haven't seen before. But the gay thing is just somewhat more intractable because I think people use this religious connotation on top of it to say it's not me that says it's bad. I mean, I watch, the RuPaul show all the time or whatever, it's God that says it's bad. So those kind of things are going together, and I'm seeing a resurgence of a lot of theocratic ideals entwined with like a lot of nationalism in a lot of these populist areas in Eastern Europe and even, other places, definitely United States too. But so that's what I have to say about it.
So it's very interesting, by the way. There's two, like in Eastern European countries, there's either a Catholic or a Christian. They either use that narrative to say why they don't like LGBT, but this anti-Semitic way is also used for people who are not religious, but they, that's how you appeal to people. If you want to fight back against LGBT people, you spread these conspiracies to also go, appeal to the non-religious demographic. Shubham, before you say that, I just want to read two comments to the two top comments on our Facebook post about this. Mikhaila, that sounds like a very cool name. She's saying, as a Polish person, I feel sorry for my country. Our government is chose. I think she means has chosen mostly my elder faithful people from villages. Okay. So she's saying this is mostly religious people and elder people that have chosen this. By the way, somebody in the live chat says, "What does this got to do with religion?" Go F yourself. I'm sorry, I'm just joking. Don't go. But like, obviously, this is religion has a. First of all, we don't cover news that it's just about religion, but this one definitely is about religion, right? Another person, Javier, I don't know, he's saying, so basically, if you want first world funds support, stop behaving like the third world. Oh, that's a good comment. Ruben is saying the EU probably wishes it never expanded east to take in these winging moochers in the first place. Should be a way of chucking them out. Yeah. All right. Shopam, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, what I was saying is like the money which is being withheld from the funds is not like huge amounts. It's really modest, like from $6,000 to $29,000, and this money would have just gone to fund a program which is supposed to connect local communities across Europe. So if they're discriminating against a community, they certainly don't deserve this money at all.
Right. Daniel on YouTube is saying, Daniel is our member, so we are by law forced to read his live chat. Daniel is saying strong Catholic presence in Poland. Do the math. Rivka, you wanted to say something?
I wanted to kind of circle back to your anti-Semitic comment. A lot of these kind of things people don't realize they may not like gay people or immigrants or whomever, but that, and then they start talking about Soros or the globalist conspiracy, that's circling it all back to saying it's Jews who are doing all these things, and they're using these people that we also don't like. So people wonder like what this is about, like why we're saying this, and it happens over and over and over again, you know, that the Jews kind of are at the top of the hate pyramid, controlling everybody else that they don't like.
Rivka, you can't say that, Rivka. YouTube will punish us. Say my people. Say my people.
My tribe, my people.
Yes. Maybe that's why we're monetized, because we have you on, and so we get this is this is what diversity quota gets you. See, this is why we had to get rid of Susanna. I mean, Susanna's bi, so I don't know if we still need her. I don't know. The good thing is that Subham here, he's also like has all the everything and the LGBT covered, so we don't need Susanna. Yeah.
Well, we apparently just increased our OIR, our oppression index rating.
Yeah, even though she's bi, it's okay because Ethan covers all the LGBTQ stuff, all of them, right? So yeah, we don't getting rid of white people gets our diversity. Yeah, that's better. But Ethan is saying most right-wing people I know are tolerant of gay people, including myself. I find the pride in your face stuff off-putting from the community, and some of the transgender is too far out there. Oh wow, Ethan is our supporting us financially. So I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. No, Ethan, I disagree with that. I mean, I think it's, why should it be off-putting? What do you mean? Like,
because he's just not comfortable with that kind of way people act. I mean, I can understand that. Actually,
I know there's people who say, "Oh, I don't have a problem with gay people. What I have a problem with, everything about them is their sexuality. They always get rainbow this, rainbow that, and everything."
Can I respond to that really quickly? I know you're part of the community, but I don't care. But the problem is that everything is about sexuality, not because they made it about their sexuality. It's because the target on their back is because of so if you, let's say for example, if the target of people are coming after me because you because you're an atheist, for example, right, and coming after any community, right, and then you go out and say, you know what, people shouldn't be afraid because for being an atheist, there's nothing there's nothing wrong with being an atheist. You made it about atheism because they're making it about atheism. They turn the target about atheism, right? So when it comes to the LGBT community, people say, oh, why do they make everything about sex? Well, because that is the thing that they has turned into the target on their back is based on sex. So the reason why they have to constantly say why I'm okay with my sexual identity or my sexual orientation, and it's constantly about sex, is not because they are highlighting sexual stuff about themselves. It's because the people who are coming after them are highlighting sexual stuff about themselves. So if you want to fight against that kind of oppression, you would have to make it about your sexual orientation or your sexual identity, right? So that's my response to that. The Mad Gay Atheist is saying religion is how they legitimize discrimination. Another thing, Our Lady, okay, P is saying, Our Lady of Atheist Republic, Mother Superior, Susanna, save us. Oh, that's okay. All right. Subham, you wanted to say?
I want to say something to explain what I was saying. I hear you. I thought what Ethan was saying, and for Ethan, forgive me if I'm wrong, is that Ethan's just a different kind of person, and he's more comfortable in, maybe not being so out there with the pride in your face, which I think is a fair thing to say. Everybody gets to be the whatever kind of gay person or atheist or, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another, label that they want to be, and they don't all have to think the same in terms of how they express themselves. And I got the impression that that's what he was saying. Like, it's off-putting to me because I just think it's too much, or it's just too over the top. I didn't think he was dismissing it so much as a, why are you always making it about yourself? That's how I read it.
Subham, before you speak, Will is saying Subham is Captain Planet of Diversity. Yes. yeah, I think you have everything covered. But go on, Subham.
Yeah, so okay, so what I'm about to say, I'm not referring specifically to Ethan. I don't know what his point is on this, but I know these certain people, when, like, for example, let's say a gay guy comes out and says, hey, I have a boyfriend. And people say, why do you have to make everything about his sexuality? We just don't talk about it. Okay, good, you have a boyfriend. We are not against it, but you don't have to keep talking about it. But when a straight guy comes and says, hey, this and this happened with my girlfriend and everything, and they would be like celebrating it. This kind of double standards exist. I have seen. I'm not saying Ethan is like that. I don't know, but there are
like
so
like
many
if you
people
have
like this.
Yeah, like if you have a children's book and they're for children, right? And then children's books are for children. But if there's like a gay couple in the children's book and you have two dudes kissing, like a prince and another prince kissing, right? Everybody like, why? Like, this is the LGBTQ agenda. They're coming for your children, and like, yeah, but we have had men and women kissing in children's book forever, right? Like Snow White. I don't know, like Sleeping Beauty. So why were you guys so upset when you had that level of sexuality in children's story before, and now that like, it's not like they're not showing kids, they're not showing them like adult rated stuff. It's the same level of kissing was there between men and women for children's stories. All was always there, right? So when you have that, when you just now adding to, like, instead of a prince falling in love with a princess, if you have two princes falling in love or two princesses falling in love, they're like, oh, LGBTQ agenda, they're coming for the kids, save the children, somebody save the children. But yeah, I see that double standard. Anyways, do you want to continue this, or let's go to the next?
No, I want. Okay, so the last thing I want to say is, like, this is the kind of, like, this is also a kind of homophobia. Like, homophobia is not explicit, gay is bad and everything like that. This is also, this develops from homophobia, and I think this is the kind of homophobia which is prevalent in the more progressive places, because in the regressive places, people will outright say that, yeah, this is completely bad, we don't accept it and everything. But in certain progressive places, people will say, okay, we accept it, but you don't have to make everything about it. And because in order to normalize it, we need to oppose that, and this is the best way. Being flamboyant is often the best way to normalize it.
All right, let's move on. Wait, hold on. Yeah, let's move on to the next news. What is this? Iranian metal band. Well, I don't know the name. Jesus, people are gonna attack me for this, but I should know the name. What's the name? Okay, I have to look at the Persian writing of it, so to be able to know how the name is pronounced. Arsames arrested. Okay, let me try this again. Editor, Mehragan cut from here. Okay, Iranian metal band Arsames. You know what? I'm gonna look these people up because Arsames. I know I'm gonna get so much in trouble for this. Anyways, let me try this. Iranian metal Arsames arrested, sentenced to 15 years in prison for playing satanic music. So, you know, I'm just going to say Iranian metal band arrested, sentenced to 15 years in prison for playing satanic music. You know, the reason why I'm going to get in trouble for not knowing the name is because I'm Iranian and I should know these people's names, but I don't listen to metal music. I'm sorry. Don't come at me. So here's the summary. The government of Iran is continuing its crusade against heavy metal music in the country, trying to censor and imprison bands for the crime of playing heavy metal. The latest band is notable Iranian death metal band Arsames. Okay. Earlier this month, members of the band was arrested. Official document of the arrest, which reads in part, the band was arrested and charged with 15 years in jail for being in satanic metal band and being against the Islamic government. The band members have paid bail and are currently safe and not being held in prison as they await the start of their trial. What do you guys think about this? I'm going to go look up the actual name before.
Well, this is something that's happened quite, before in Iran. In 2015, I think, there was a band called Confess that this happened to. There's been other bands. I'm trying to remember some of the names of them, but this is a common thing. They raid parties, music festivals. There's a film called Who's Afraid of Persian Cats, or Everybody Knows Persian Cats, that's about an Iranian rock musicians who have been jailed, and they just get out of jail and they continue to try and make music and go through this underground rock festival. And there's all kinds of videos on YouTube about people filming underground heavy metal festivals. So it's not, even though it's against the law or you can be prosecuted for it or picked up, people are still doing it. Also, what's interesting is you can get special permission to play certain kinds of music in certain places, but apparently it's quite difficult to get. Like, almost nobody gets it. So, I mean, I think it's completely wrong. It's, free expression is free expression. If you want to play music, if you don't like it, who cares? Listen to something else.
We got a super chat with no comment by Justin. Thank you so much, Justin. Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, but this. Let me read the top comment. That's religion for you. That's the top comment. Jeff is saying the thing that have been done throughout time in the name of religion makes me so effing angry. He keeps it going on under a, justifiably good rant, but it's too long. Oh, here it is. Rahul is saying, we don't know much about the issue here, but we know 100% that this has nothing to do with Islam. Oh, he's being sarcastic. Here's another thing. That's why religion should be banned. No, guys, what the hell? Religion shouldn't be banned. Religion should just be attacked. Banning religion helps grow religion. So, but he's saying that's why religion should be banned and all the priests, imams, and bishops arrested and jailed till they stop controlling people's lives. Holy hell, no. What the hell? This is like anti-liberal kind of nonsense that we do not stand for here at the Atheist Republic. We don't want an authoritarian system to replace religious authoritarian theocracy. The problem with religion is, well, many things, but one of the problems with religion is that they get to spew their nonsense and limit how much we could push back against it. We do not demand them stopping spewing their nonsense. They can spew their nonsense as much as they want. All we ask is for us to be able to have the opportunity to respond to their nonsense, especially in countries where the law prohibits you from doing so. That's all we ask. We do not want anybody to ban religion. We do not want anybody to ban the practice of religion. We do not want any imams, priests, or rabbis to go to jail unless they did a crime. We do not support that, right? Wayne is saying effing Islamic doctrine is a dinosaur. All right, Subham, you want to say something? Go on.
Okay, so the first thing I want to say, from what I found, it's pronounced Arsames because it's named after an ancient Persian king. So I just searched his name. And the second thing I want to say is banning things doesn't solve, I think, because this is a perfect example. When you ban a certain thing, a practice or something, people will find a way. I mean, more people, I think, will be interested in going for that certain thing. For example, in this case, death metal is banned there, but they just still they continue to sing songs and do concerts and everything. And if you ban religion, I think there will be people who secretly have like cults and stuff, and there will be like, we already know the horrible things in religion, horrible practices, and these people will continue these practices in secret, which we won't get to know. while religion is still like on the surface, like it's not banned, it's not secretive, we can know about cases and we can speak up against those cases. But if it becomes something like really secretive, we cannot even speak up against those because they will happen in secret. So what do you think about this?
No, I completely agree. Religion feeds
I
on
agree too.
Yeah, they feed on victimization. Okay, P2020 on Twitch is saying, I suspect it's that that usual Muslim opposition to worldly music, or another one about trying to subvert the government thing. Yeah, no, I mean, they don't oppose music. This is metal music for them is satanic, so that they have a. I wonder how like these people have balls going making music like this in Iran, right? Like that's pretty amazing. Like I hope to get some, and if people think, well, there's idiots for actually making music like that in Iran, if they know that they're going to get in trouble, I don't agree with that. I think I think like if people know the risk and they decide to push back against what's accepted as norm. I mean, I'm not saying we should encourage people to do that if we know there's a risk, but if somebody knows the risk and they still decide to do that, I think we should congratulate them and thank them, right? Just one more comment before I
I wanted to say one more thing, is that part of it's not just that they think it's satanic. Part of what metal is, what metal does, what a lot of the lyrics and the whole scene is rebellion against authority, freedom, all kinds of, those kind of things, questioning authority, those kind of things, those themes are part of what any authoritarian government, in particular religious authoritarian government, doesn't want people to engage in, because that's what metal is. So I just had to say that.
So the Mad Atheist, who's a member, a YouTube member, he or she saying the atheist Iran is so terrible. A lot of the people have had enough there. They seem to be on the verge of revolution. They have been on the verge of revolution for the past 40 years. But yeah, I agree. And we also got a new member. Look at this. Hans Rhodes is a new member. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, there's a join button right next to our subscribe button so you can become a member. Thank you, Hans, for supporting us. Michael Sherlock is saying the history of the Abrahamic religion teaches us that banning religions turns them into powerful countercultures, which in turn propels them into mainstream culture, which in turn empowers it to take over societies. Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with the pushback against Ataturk in Turkey, and also how Reza Shah came down anti-secular, like forcing non-religion on people in Iran. Look what that turned out to look like, right? Like we have there's countless of examples, right? But even if it wasn't, here's the thing, even if that was not going to be the reaction, it's still a crappy thing to do, to have like authoritarianism to that level, right? Like even if the consequences are not. Yeah, anyways, anything else you guys want to add before I go to the next story? All right, next story here. Let me share the screen first. You guys could see. By the way, this next story. Okay, let me first read the title. Man accused of carrying beef attacked with hammer in Gurgaon cops watch. I wanted to show the Subham wanted me to show the video for this. Like, look at this guy. Oh my God, look at the hammer right here, right? But unfortunately, I mean, maybe I don't know. Fortunately or unfortunately, I can't show this to you guys because YouTube and Facebook and probably Twitch as well will remove us from the platform if we show violence to you guys on screen. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to read the summary. A group of cow vigilantes chased a pickup truck, pulled out the driver, and brutally assaulted him on the suspicion that he was smuggling cow meat. The unarmed man was beaten with a hammer, and kicked to pulp with while the police and dozens of people do little more than watch. Wait. Okay. Shows the video evidence. This is why we need Susanna. I suck at reading this stuff. Demonstrating the horrific collapse of law near the country's capital. The police were faster at sending the meat to a lab for testing than catching any of the suspects. One of the assailants has been arrested. The owner of the vehicle said that the driver was transporting buffalo meat. Wait a second. Hold on. So what you're saying, Shubham, correct me, is that when the cops showed up, they didn't stop. They weren't. Their main priority was not to go and arrest the people who were beating the guy with a hammer because he had cow meat. Their main priority was, let's investigate and see if this was actually cow meat. Is that like, this is their main priority? Like,
Yeah, so here's the whole story. Like when this guy was in a truck and he was riding, when he saw some other guys in a motorcycles chasing him, he called his friend and said, "Here's what's happening." And his friend called the police 4 times and didn't get any answer. After the 5th time, the police answered and they said, "Okay, we are going." But even after that, they were really late in reaching the scene. And even after reaching the scene, this guy was being beaten. Like, it's horrific. It's really horrific. And they did nothing. The cops, the police, it's their job, and they did absolutely nothing. They just watched. And from that place, the guys who beat him, they got him into the truck and drove him to another place. And after taking him to that place, they got him out of the truck and started beating him again. And that's when the police intervened. And even when the police intervened, the mob, the huge mob, dared to like oppose the police. They were prepared to fight against the police for this. They even broke, like after the police got him into the police van for taking him to the station or hospital or wherever, they even broke the windshield of the police van just to get him out and beat him again. And the cops, what they did is like what Armin said. It's not about stopping them. Like in one place, the police completely watched him getting beaten, and the second time they stopped them, but even then they rioted. But they sent the meat for investigation whether it was actually cow meat or buffalo meat, because in this state cow meat is banned but buffalo meat isn't banned. So their priority is the meat. If this is cow meat, then it's fine according to them. And like about the assailants, they just arrested one guy and filed FIR, like a case against several unidentified individuals. Even though the police were there, they saw everyone who beat him. And there's this video circulating on the internet which shows everyone's face who beat him. But the report still stays unidentified individuals.
Okay, so first of all, we got 2 new members, Justin and Michael. Justin Vakula, sounds like a vampire name, and Michael Sherlock. Well,
it's Eastern European,
yeah,
I bet.
Yeah, I know Justin.
It
yeah,
is.
just like
It's
Dracula.
probably...
But Michael Sherlock also is a new member, which is actually horrific because that means like I'm legally obligated to read every of Michael's stupid comments now. So great. But thank you guys. That's very kind of you. Again, if anybody else wants to become a member, the join button is right next to the subscribe button on YouTube. But where was this Twitch comment? I wanted to read this Twitch comment by... Oh wait, I've missed this guy, Hans Rhodes. Did I mention Hans Rhodes also is a new member?
You did mention Hans.
Oh, I did mention, but where's the Twitch comment? Here, I'm just going to read it from here. I dare bet the usual right-wing comments will be that it's fake news, a stolen goods case, media bias, blah blah blah. Yes, exactly. All these. Oh yeah, go on, Shubham, you go.
Well, some people might. No, wait, this one, because I have to answer to P about this particular comment. Some people might say it's fake news and blah blah blah, but there are people who are taking pride. This guy was carrying cow meat. They think this guy was carrying cow meat, and that's why beating him was the right thing to do. So there are many people who are taking pride in the fact that this happened. They're happy that this happened because according to them, they should be beaten to death if they are found with cow meat.
All I was going to say is these cow villains are utterly fanatical, or cow vigilantes.
Okay.
Are
Okay,
utterly
Rivka.
fanatical.
Okay. Okay, guys, make sure you laugh at Rivka's joke, or else we're gonna be anti-Semitic. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
I'm kidding.
this is what happens in most of India because cow slaughter is legal in just a few states. For example, one South Indian state, Kerala, the state I live in, and a few northeastern states because that's where the majority are Christians and tribes. So they don't care about the Hindu beliefs. So these are the only places where cow slaughter and beef is legal. The rest of India is banned, and these people, these mob lynches, these cow vigilantes, and several groups, they just roam around. And if they suspect, not they don't need to be sure. If even if they suspect someone of having beef, they will just. It's horrible. It's literally horrible. They even sometimes they force them to eat cow dung and drink cow urine. They force these things, and like it's really horrible.
Yeah, we're gonna get the Hindutva people coming at us. Fake news, fake news. This is Armin. How could you believe Subham? This is a media bias against us. They're trying to destroy India. And I always ask them, why all this media? Why are they trying to destroy India? Why? Like, and they never have a good answer. They're like, they're coming after this, hate how successful India is. They hate us because they ain't us. Go on.
Yeah, so the another thing is like the people who beat him, even if all of them get arrested, there's a doubt. I doubt all of them will get arrested. They will probably just get scot free. But even if they get arrested, they will get bails easily. It's not like they will stay in jail. But this guy, if the meat is found to be cow meat instead of buffalo meat, this guy will face 10 years in prison with over $1,000 of fine.
Right. So Daniel is saying, in the extremely unlikely event that hell exists, I'm going straight there. When I die, at the words cow vigilantes, I smirk like a madman. I don't get this joke. Oh, Rivka gets the joke because she's laughing. Justin is saying, next up, Jane violence. Oh, come on, Justin. You know Hindus. Okay, so we covered this news to show you that this whole idea of Hinduism is peaceful and stuff. It's a joke. It's all joke. All of these religions need to. Can I say that on YouTube now? We're monetized. I'm afraid of saying things to lose this monetization privilege now. All these religions need to go away. They just need to disappear. I'm not going to use the word that I usually use, but anyways.
What I want to say, like to Justin Bakula, like the religions Buddhism and Jainism, yeah, many Buddhists and Jains are not peaceful always, but the religions in themselves don't always teach harming others. Like, yeah, they have other stupid beliefs and everything, but they don't teach harming others. But Hinduism, like, this is a false believe that Hinduism teaches no harm. Like Hinduism has several verses which says you can go harm people, you can go kill people for these things, and there are several verses like this. There are verses saying God should strike the infidels and burn the atheists and stuff like this.
Right. All right. Let's go to the next news. The Satanic Temple. The Satanic Temple. This says, I think that's what it means. The Satanic Temple is saying satanic abortions are protected by religious liberty laws. Okay, let's see what their argument is. Here's the summary. The Satanic Temple is announcing that all first trimester abortions must be exempt from state regulation that hinder access to the procedure because such hurdles violate 2 of their 7 fundamental tenets regarding bodily autonomy and adherence to best scientific practices. The Satanists say the Religious Freedom Resolution Act, or RFRA, prohibits the government from interfering with someone's religious practices by saying abortions in the first trimesters are a religious ritual for their members. Any states that have their own RFRA laws and and most anti-abortion states have them, would theoretically have to show why their restrictions should override the Satanist religious freedom. I love this so much. This is the version of playing, reverse and Uno when it comes to religion. When it comes to the religious privilege, this is like a reverse card in Uno. But I mean, just to be clear to people who don't know, the Satanic Temple is not a real religion. These are a bunch of atheists who are kind of pretending to be religious, because they actually, I mean, they have their rituals and everything, but they don't actually believe that devil is real. They don't believe in superstitious nonsense and stuff. They just like the symbolism. They're mostly atheists, and they believe in like separation of church and state, and the scientific method and all of that, right? But the beautiful thing about them is that every time in the United States there's religious privilege, when organizations like the Freedom from Religion Foundation fail to stop, like when the first step is usually the Freedom from Religion Foundation, when they try to uphold separation of church and state. But when if they ever failed, I think the Satanic Temple comes in and tries to show the hypocrisy, because for a lot of this religious privilege that Christians have in the United States, it's mostly for Christianity, right? Like they act like, oh, this is about freedom, blah blah blah. But as soon as Islam or the Satanic Temple moves in, they all of a sudden they lose their mind. And again, we don't want to play this game with them to show their hypocrisy with Islam, because we don't like Islam either. But that's why the Satanic Temple is such a perfect way, because the Christians, like, they are scared of the Satanic Temple, right? When you let religion in school and be like, well, we should freedom. Let's have like teach children we should be able to have Bible lessons in school. The Satanic Temple comes in and like, well, you said religion, you didn't say Christianity. The laws should be equal for everybody. And then all of a sudden your kids get exposed to satanic rituals and stuff like that, and then the Christian moms and dads lose their mind, and then they see why all of a sudden they realize why secularism is so important. But this one is great, because now every time they say like, oh, abortion, because of you can't force us to have, like, I don't know, government funded abortion or family planning and stuff, because this is against our religious freedom or religious practices or belief, deeply held belief, as Rivka usually says. But the Satanic Temple is like, well, guess what? Our deeply held belief is that this is our religious views, and you guys have to tell us why you are discriminating against our religious views. This is like a ritual. This is a sacred thing for us. And yeah, Rivka, you want to say something? I'm going to actually see that exact wording.
So this is a big thing that the Satanic Temple does, and they've done this thing with the abortion. They sued the state of Missouri once over their abortion laws. It was in 2019. Regarding the waiting period, saying it's unscientific, and unscientific information violates their religious tenets. It's against their beliefs. So they lost the first time. The abortions, and this, now they're appealing the abortions and the science. Now they're appealing on the unscientific. They've done this and won in Florida. There was a school that was giving out Bibles and Christian information to kids, and the school board ruled they could. Well, the Satanic Temple sued. The judge said, well, you have to let them give out their manual. So they were giving out little Johnny's Guide to, Baphomet or whatever they say. Well, all of a sudden, then people got so butthurt that someone else was doing it that the school just said, you know what? No one's giving out any pamphlets. And the Satanic said, okay, fine. Because exactly what you said, they're trying to point out, well, you don't really believe in religious freedom. You believe in it only for you. So, and this particular instance as well, with the that they've just done now, with it being part of their tenets. And then they actually are now an actual recognized by the government religion. So this gives them even more of a platform to talk about their deeply held beliefs and the religious freedom acts, which are oftentimes really just amount to Christian privilege.
Right. P2020 is saying on Twitch. By the way, guys, follow us on Twitch. He's saying, man, the Satanists are the ultimate prank masters on church versus state matters. Yeah, they are. Justin Vakula is saying, I really like this Satanic Temple. The documentary Hell Satan was great. Now available on Amazon for about $3 to rent. If you can't beat religion, fight them with their own games like the satanic abortions. Yeah. Is this a new thing, by the way, that they're making? What is it? They're saying that some of their 7 fundamental tenets is regarding bodily autonomy. I know bodily autonomy was there from the beginning, but now they're saying adherence to the best scientific practice. I love that they made that their religious tenets. Like anything that is now because of this, anything that is unscientific is discrimination against the Satanic Temple. So anything that is unscientific is now also against religion. This is so good.
And it's really important too, because so many of these restrictive laws against choice for whether you want to carry a baby or not, have an abortion, are unscientific. They tell women you get breast cancer, you have to wait, you have to, all these things. It'll cause you not to be able to have more babies. There's all this non-science information out there as part of some of the state-sponsored tape that you or recording that you have to listen to, where they tell you all these things. So yeah, it's a very very innovative and effective way to fight the encroachment of theocracy.
Justin is saying Satanic Invocations was awesome too. David Suhor of Florida was great with this. All right, Subham.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention that the article we posted was from Hemant, and he actually asked a professor of law at the University of Miami, Carolyn Malacorbin, about this, and she said that there could be 2 problems with this. And what she said is the first problem would be a patient would have to establish that the abortion ritual is a sincere religious practice, and a court may reject that claim. So here's the thing she said. After all, the member of the Satanic Temple is arguing that an abortion is akin to a sacrament. A hostile court may also conclude that beliefs about autonomy and science, while sincere, are secular rather than religious. Though it would be wading into murky territory by declaring that sincere beliefs are not religious, as courts are generally wary of drawing a line between religious beliefs and non-religious beliefs. So she said that could be a problem, but the courts are usually hesitant about drawing a line between religious and non-religious beliefs because anything could be possible. And the second point she made was a patient would have to show that the abortion restrictions substantially burden her religious practice. While after Hobby Lobby courts are supposed to be deferential to religious objectors' claims of substantial burden, I can imagine that courts may argue otherwise. Example, waiting a day or 2 does not prevent the abortion. At the same time, if a court is willing to accept an abortion as a religious ritual akin to communion, then requiring people to wait several days before they're allowed to receive it should amount to a substantial burden. Of course, the Satanic Temple was careful to make clear that the abortion ritual was more than the abortion itself, strengthening its claim that states' regulations interfered with the whole ritual. So, because the Satanic Temple already suggested that the abortion ritual, there's an entire ritual, because they have this ritual, like Armin said before, they have these rituals. It's because they have these rituals that they can get this done. Because if they didn't have the rituals, it would just be a simple abortion and they might have lost it. The case.
Yeah, the ritual is important to make them officially a religion. Rivka?
I wanted to say this is very interesting because the argument from the attorney was a court may not view their perception of what's sacrament or part of the religion as religious and may say, oh, it's actually secular, these views, which if I were the attorney, would argue that's actually invalid based on the precedent that the Supreme Court just set, saying those crosses are secular as well. So are those deeply held beliefs secular? But so then if those deeply held beliefs are secular, then when I say I can't sell you the abortion pill because of my religious beliefs, no, actually those are secular beliefs. Do you see what I'm saying? Like which is her point about not wanting to muddy the waters, which they've already done by claiming the crosses that were up were secular. So now we've got this mersion. So anything really that you claim is your deeply held belief, if someone says it's secular, well, are you questioning my religious deeply held beliefs? I don't know. I mean, I haven't fleshed out the whole argument completely, but when you said it, it made me think of the court ruling that a religious symbol is secular. Now they want to say that, for when it worked for them, but when it doesn't work for them, then secularism. You see what I mean? But anyways, that's
Right.
my.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to read AGA's comment and then we can move on. AGA is saying the Satanic Temple is awesome at twisting the laws of Christians for their own means, forcing the Christians to retreat. And she also says, "Hail Satan." Okay. Cool. Let's go to. Oh yeah. Let's go to the next news. People on aid should sacrifice their children instead of animals, says BJP MLA in Uttar Pradesh, which is in India. So what the hell, Subham? Okay, hold on. Wait, I need to read the summary before we go to Subham. By the way, for people who don't know, BJP is the Hindu right-wing Hindutva party in India, where all of this craziness is coming from, all the cow vigilante, anyways, incitements and stuff like that. So a BJP legislator from, and they have a lot of anti-Islamic, but not just anti-Islamic, but also anti-Muslim, unfortunately, views. So that's the context of this story. A BJP legislator from Ghaziabad, she has a name that I can't pronounce, stirred up controversy when why is there a picture of a woman here? When he asked people celebrating Eid al-Adha to sacrifice their children instead of animals. He stated people who want to sacrifice on Eid should sacrifice their children. I will not let people consume meat and alcohol in Loni. We will not let people sacrifice innocent animals because meat spreads corona. Oh my God, YouTube is going to punish me for saying this. Meat spreads coronavirus. The way people have followed the guidelines of the government by not offering prayers and namaz at temples and mosques to contain COVID-19, in the same way they must not offer the sacrifice of animals on Eid, he said. So what he means is that the same way, because government guidelines says that you can't go to a mosque and pray, so we should have a new government guideline that says that you can't kill animals. I think this is like a Hindu, so he's trying to mix his Hindu beliefs of not killing cows maybe with his anti-Muslim views, and he's telling Muslims to kill their own children instead of the innocent animals on Eid. What do you think, Subham?
Well, first of all, Michael donated 20 Australian dollars in the live chat.
Oh.
And
where? Oh my God. Wow. Thank you, Michael. This is so horrible. Michael's comments are so dumb, and now I have to read them every goddamn time. Michael Sherlock saying, no, I'm just kidding. Michael is in the time, but thank you so much, Michael. That's very generous. You say
I like Michael's comments.
I know. I'm kidding.
Rivka, obnoxious.
I'm kidding. Michael saying now is the time when you remind. Now is the time when you remind people to support Atheist Republic and this wonderful show. Where is Susanna when you need her? Okay, yeah. But guys, look how many members and super chats we're getting with that Susanna. Maybe we shouldn't bring back Susanna. Anyways, Subham, you go ahead.
But yeah, go and support, like all the links in the description below. Become a Patreon, join, and all the good stuff. If you want to donate one time, just PayPal, and even if you want to donate anonymously, there are even cryptocurrency wallets down there. So yeah, go down below. And yeah, about the news, what I want to say is like, yeah, so this is crazy, sacrificing children, your own children instead of animals. I mean, there's also, after this news, there were memes circulating on the internet that a man actually sacrificed his 2-year-old daughter. And but I researched about that, and that happened a few years ago, not after what he said. But still, it's horrific. And the thing is, like, Hinduism does have animal sacrifice. Even in the oldest religious scriptures, it promotes animal sacrifice. It says like the Vedic sacrifices, and there are lots of things. And even right now, like some people say right now, Hinduism doesn't, like, Hindus don't practice animal sacrifice, but they do. I have seen goats being sacrificed in front of me. I've gone to temples, and the temple floors were just bloody and everything from the sacrifices. So it's not like Hindus don't sacrifice. He just wants to push his own like Hindu thing. And the thing about Hindus is like many vegetarians and vegans think like, oh, Hinduism at least supports vegetarianism because they have compassion for animals. They don't want to kill. Like, no, that's not the thing. The reason why many Hindus don't eat meat is not because of the compassion for animals. It's because Hinduism in its scriptures considers dead meat, any kind of dead meat, as dirty and as untouchable. So only the untouchables, like the Dalits of the in the community, they are allowed to touch dead meat, raw dead meat. And because of that, like they consider them as impure, dirty, and not something like upper caste Brahmins and they should touch because they're dirty. It's
Okay,
not any.
why is there a picture of a woman here? I feel catfished.
I think I think this is just a Muslim woman, I guess.
Muslim woman? She doesn't look like. Okay, Rivka.
Okay, so while that is a horrible thing to say, to tell people to go sacrifice your own kids, I simply want to point out that that is exactly the holiday that Eid is celebrating, when God told Abraham to kill Isaac, his son, to prove how much Abraham loved God. And Abraham said, okay. And then God said at the last minute, no, just kill a lamb instead. He already had Isaac bound up on the whatever, I can't remember the word now, to burn him on the altar for the offering before God stayed his hand. So while it is terrible for someone to encourage that, that is exactly what this holiday is celebrating, which in my opinion is reprehensible, to celebrate someone willing to slaughter their own child as a test.
Actually, that's a very good point, because like it seems like the Hindus are competing with Abrahamic religions, because the main thing Abraham is the shared figure in all Abrahamic religions, and his greatest crime was him almost killing his son because of voices in his head, right? Actually, he also circumcised 300 adult males, so that's weird as well. But this is now the Hindus are saying like, yeah, actually, we support that. Go sacrifice your own children. We got a new member. The Babylon Project became a member and is saying, take my money, you heathens. P2020 is saying, thank you so much, Babylon Project. Go check out their YouTube channel. There's really good guests, really, really good guests on their channel. Go check it out. P2020 is saying, it's just another foot in mouth statement. Check their own, how do you say this? Dharma. Practices first before others. The Nepalese got something festival in the same bloodbath as the Eid al-Adha. Yeah, okay, so they do the same kind of things. I also want to mention we have to like highlight these because they're members now. We have to read their comments. Justin is saying you can say pandemic or plague or invisible enemy to not draw the wrath of YouTube. Yeah, instead of or you could say the beer virus. You could say that as well. I see some other people do that as well. How about not killing animals or children? Oh, Justin, you're a vegan? I didn't know that. But I want to also bring an attention to a crazy comment. I don't know even if I can read this. This is when we posted this on Atheist Republic. This is the comment I got. Maybe I could read it, but I'll censor some parts of it to not get the wrath of YouTube. Rosie is saying, "Bravo." So we have problems in our Atheist Republic community, and we highlight it when we say, we don't shy away from these problematic people, right? Rosie is saying, "Bravo, BGP, MLA. Very well said. They manufacture thousands of kids every year like cockroaches." Oh, Jesus Christ, man. You are right. You are right. Why don't they sacrifice their children during Eid al-Kibir and Eid al-Saghir? Excellent idea. The planet will be less burdened. Holy crap. And it only got likes and hearts. What the hell? Like, not a single pushback. This is so... Oh my God, this is crazy. All right, anyways, I just wanted to highlight, showing you guys that some people like this because they're so anti-Muslim instead of anti-Islam, that they are endorsing the killing. This is how far some people go with their anti-Muslim attitudes. They're endorsing the killing of children as if they're cockroaches. Holy crap. All right, go on.
Who's supposed to go on?
Oh, Rivka wanted to.
You're the one who's reading, Armin, the news.
I thought you guys had the comment. Never mind. Let me see if there's any.
I mean, this. Okay, so I'll just say this, like what Rosie said here. This is like many Hindus believe in this. Like they often say, like, but Muslims are having so many children. Why don't they just sacrifice? Like, I don't know how can someone even think of sacrificing children. Like, that's just so stupid to me. And yeah, that's not just stupid, it's freaking horrific. But the reason why there are so many Muslims having more children is, well, first of all, yeah, they want to have more Muslims. They want to like conquer the world or some shit. And the another thing is, like, in India, most Muslims are like really, really poor. And it's not just the Muslim people who are poor, just in general, have more children, be it Muslims, Hindus, Christians, whoever. And most Muslims in India are like really poor. So that's another contribution to why they have more children. And some people are saying like these things, like these particular things about killing children and everything, these are just what the Hindutva supports, not Hinduism. So they are like advocating for Hinduism while opposing Hindutva. But I say, like, but Hinduism, like Hindutva, is nothing very different. Hindutva is just a hint of Nazism mixed in with Hinduism, because Hinduism already
you can't
supports.
Say that. We're gonna get in trouble. Michael Sherlock is saying the $20 I contributed has to be spent getting Armin reading lessons. Okay, that's racist. You're canceled now. Michael Sherlock also. What?
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, read his previous comment, and you're reading it right now. Sorry.
Yeah, Michael Sherlock saying, okay, this is another dumb comment by Michael Sherlock. If you donate money, I'm not gonna stop calling out your dumb comments. Okay, Michael Sherlock is saying Rosie's comments prove that atheists aren't necessarily rational or good. I mean, if you already assume that anytime somebody says that, hey, look, I thought atheists were supposed to be intelligent, and I always want to tell them, I'm usually stop myself by not. But in my mind, I tell them that the fact that you assume that all atheists are intelligent, proves that all atheists are not intelligent, because you made that assumption and you're dumb because of making that assumption. Rivka.
I think Michael's comment is actually valid, because there is an assumption amongst atheists that somehow, because they don't believe in God, somehow that makes them more rational than anyone else on the planet.
Yeah, I'm joking. I just like to attack Mike.
I thought you were actually. It's hard for me to tell when you're making a. Sorry, Armin.
Let me attack Marcus Sher like he deserves this. John Majdik is saying Armin is doing a very good job at reading the news, but I did a horrible job at reading your last name. Sorry. The Babylon Project is saying LMAO Michael Sherlock is savage. Wait, what did he say? Did he attack me? I'm not going to highlight that if he attacked me.
It's for your reading lessons.
Oh yeah, okay. A lot of atheists argue that being an atheist makes you more intelligent, and I agree with Armin. Damn it. I don't like Michael agreeing with me. Just saying, yeah, atheists are just right, at least on one issue, and sometimes not even a product of deep thought. It's not necessarily a matter of applying skepticism reason to everything. Okay. Hold on, let me just tell some people, guys, don't talk. Just like, yeah, thank you. Anyways, let me share this next news. All right, next news. In California's Bible Belt. Okay, let's try this again. In California's Bible Belt. Jesus. In California's Bible Belt, churches find ways around states' corona. Shit, I shouldn't have said that. Coronavirus lockdown orders. YouTube is going to punish us for saying that. All right, let me read the summary. Churches across California have been whipped. What is this? Whipsawed? I don't know what this word is. By state closure and reopening orders, as church events have been tied to coronavirus outbreaks in parts of the state's so-called Bible Belt. The controversy over rising cases of infections and deaths related to the coronavirus has not stopped residents from packing in-person services. They didn't, okay, quote, they didn't like being a part at all, end quote. Bundy Canyon Christian Church pastor Michael Hott said, "We have trust in God that nothing will happen. Since the start of the pandemic, not one of our members got sick or lost their job. The church will always be victorious." When Governor Gavin Newsom called for the suspension of indoor in-person services the second time around, some ignored it while others moved their worship outdoors. All right, what do you guys think?
Well, first of all, the word is whipsawed.
Wait, really? You're gonna correct me, Subham? I'm gonna remove. Hold on, look at this. Subham is canceled. Subham is not here anymore. Anyways, go on. Yeah, you're back. Oh, you don't have any comments? Yeah, okay, you have no comments.
No, I thought
Armin
would want to say something.
Justin is saying Armin is asserting his male privilege. Yes.
I was gonna say that that this thing with the churches skirting the law. I mean, this is going on everywhere, and trying to insist that religion is essential and to stop them is violating the First Amendment, regardless of the fact that you could still practice at home. You could do it over Zoom. No one's coming to your house to arrest you for being a Christian. But this is part of that same discussion that the Satanic Temple was trying to get at. There's this assumption that somehow their religion and what they do should be afforded some sort of special privilege, based simply on the fact that they're Christian, or they believe in God, or they assume everyone else should. And this whole refusal to accept science and rely on God until they get sick. And then we saw a lot of people actually condemn their previous points about that in some of these. So I just feel like it's just a more religious privilege, that they should be allowed to do what they want, regardless of whether they get sick or they get anyone else sick, because magic sky friend.
I do want to mention the Matt Gaetz. I disagree with what you're saying. The Matt Gaetz is saying, I want to lock the doors and let their idiocy thin the herd a bit. I don't really think that's fair. I don't think, no matter how dumb or stupid people get, they don't deserve to die because of it. Like, sometimes I see, I know you didn't mean that. It's just but sometimes I also see like people like doing stupid stuff and dying from the virus because of it. sometimes it seems like, yeah, well, they deserved it, but other times, you have to think. I want to tell people to reconsider thinking like that, because again, stupidity shouldn't make you deserving of death. That seems like a very over the top punishment for just being dumb, I think. Anyways, we see that actually there's similar comment here on Facebook here as well. Timmy is saying should have been letting churches do this the whole time, wipe out that part of the population faster. And I know a lot of people will say like, well, it's not just like some people say like, no, we should stop them because it's not just gonna kill them, they're gonna spread the virus to other people as well. I don't think that's a legitimate comeback, like a good comeback, because even if it didn't, even if like their stupidity would make them the victim to the virus and no one else, I would still not be happy about that. Like I don't want people to like, just keep dying because they're dumb, like even if they were not spreading the virus to people who were not being dumb. Yeah, but that's what I think. Hold on, let me read a few more comments and then we go to the P2020 saying, I sometimes wonder if they cared about that verse, render unto Caesar thingy, or was it just their convenience again? Soha is reminding everybody to like and subscribe. I already read that one. All right, let's move on.
I was thinking like, okay, I don't really want people to die just because of their stupidity, but if like there are often people who die because of their stupidity, and it's not like I cannot be like sad because they died. It's just like I cannot care much about it because it's their own fault they died. So I don't know
I
what
feel
you
sad
think
about
about
it
that.
a little bit. I mean, I can't feel too sad about it because people are dying every day. But when I hear a story, I do feel sad about it. But I'm not asking people to consider being sad about it. I'm asking people to consider not being happy about it. You know what I mean? Like if it's too much to ask your sympathy, at least don't be like, yay, people dying because they're stupid, it makes me happy, gives me a boner. Like, don't be like that. Maybe just don't do that. How about that? Is that too much to ask or not?
Armin actually opposing necrophilia.
Right. The Mad Gates is saying their selfishness puts everyone at risk. I don't want anyone to die, but stop the BS. Okay, fair point. AJ is saying it's a straw man, stupidity kills. I don't know if she's saying that what I'm saying is a straw man. Michael Schillick is saying anyone who wants anyone to die deserves to die. Well, Michael, based on your argument, Michael, now you deserve to die. Like basically, you played yourself, Michael. You played yourself. Anyways, next news. A court in Saudi Arabia has sentenced a blogger to deportation and 10 months in prison for a post supporting equal rights for gay people. What the hell? Hold on, let me read the summary. A court in Saudi Arabia has sentenced a blogger to deportation and 10 months in prison for a post supporting equal rights for gay people. Blogger Muhammad al-Bukhari is originally from Yemen. He's lucky he's from Yemen. If he was from Saudi Arabia, he would have gotten in a lot more trouble. It's amazing that they could even think that they could put him in prison for 10 years, given that he's not a Saudi citizen. Blogger Muhammad al-Bukhari is originally from Yemen, but fled in June 2019 to Saudi Arabia. Imagine how situations in Yemen are that you're fleeing Yemen to Saudi Arabia. Like, yeah. But fled in June 2019 to Saudi Arabia, where he was living as an undocumented migrant. On April 8th, Bukhari was arrested because of a video he posted on Twitter in which he mentioned gay rights. After his arrest, according to Human Rights Watch, he was subjected to a forced anal exam. What the hell? You share a video and people mess with your butthole? After his arrest, according to Human Rights Watch, he was subjected to a forced anal exam by police to determine whether he is gay. a practice which has no basis in science or medicine and is condemned internationally as a form of torture and sexual assault. What the hell did I just read? Anyways, what do you guys think?
I mean, all he said in that video was everyone has rights and should be able to practice them freely, including gay people, and that's all he said. And I'm saying, like, even if he was in Yemen instead of Saudi Arabia, like, the punishment for same-sex activity in Yemen is, I think, also prison, and even it can lead up to execution and 100 lashes. So I think he avoided that. I don't know if they would have, like, for sharing this video, they would have given him that punishment, but he could have avoided that for just some prison sentence. And maybe now he has some chance of, like, getting asylum somewhere else or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so right now he's in Saudi Arabia, right? Because the mad gay is asking. But wouldn't he get in more trouble once they deport him in Yemen? Yeah, Yemen is extremely unfriendly as well, right? I don't know. I think he might.
I think that's what Subham said.
Yeah.
That he's actually maybe in a better position when he's in Saudi Arabia than he might have been if he's in Yemen, or maybe worse if he goes back to Yemen because now he's. I don't know. Isn't that what you said? Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, that's what I said. Because if he was in Yemen, and I don't know if they would have given him the same punishment, like for same-sex activity, for just advocating for gay rights. But if he was there and if they did give the same punishment, he would have faced 100 lashes, imprisonment, and it could have even led to execution. So
Wow.
He may have avoided that.
All for sharing a video. So imagine being like, I'm so happy that they just messed with my butthole instead of killing me. This is great. Awesome. Here's another. Here's a comment. I don't know what. Okay, let me see. Cliff is saying, for all the Americans crying about free speech right now, this is what no free speech looks like. No Twitter banning you for being a racist or tinfoil hat a hole. Okay, I mean, I agree that I kind of agree and I disagree with that comment. First of all, yes, Twitter banning you is not a violation of free speech. It is censorship and is bad in many cases, but not all cases. But it's censorship, but it's not a violation of your free speech. But so in that aspect, I agree. But if there was a free speech violation in the United States, like for example, Trump saying that there should be prison sentence for people burning the flag, like stuff like that. Even if it's not as bad as Saudi Arabia, like you can still bring attention to it. Like people are like, oh, this is what anti-free speech actually really looks like. No, you don't have to get to Saudi Arabia level of anti-free speech for it to count as anti-free speech. There's many steps before that you're actually violating people's free speech. Do you guys agree with that? All right. Okay, you guys are nodding.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm gonna go. Hold on. Let me bring up the next news. Oh wait, hold on. Michael Sherlock is saying something, and I'm legally obligated to read them. Michael is saying, "What punishment would he suffer under the Trump administration?" Michael's. I asked this question to show the poor argumentation made by the far leftists in this space. Again, yes, but again, Trump violates people's free speech without going to that level. Like again, it's obviously not even close to that, but it's still, you can still complain about it. You're allowed to complain about things even though they're not as bad as Saudi Arabia. Justin is saying it's possible for there to be two problems: human rights issues in other countries and Twitter being unfair to people. Yes. And yeah, and they don't have to be at the same level for you to be able to criticize one of them. Fair points. Let me bring up this news story. Tunisia, homosexuality convictions upheld. Okay, this sounds like a bad news. I mean, to be fair, most of our stories are bad news. A Tunisian appeals court on July 28, 2020 upheld the convictions of two men accused of sodomy, but reduced their sentence to 1 year in prison. The conviction contradicts the rights to privacy and non-discrimination under international law, which are also enshrined in Tunisia's 2014 constitution. Article 2030 of the Tunisian Penal Code punishes consensual same-sex conduct with up to 3 years in prison. The lawyer who represented the men before the appeals court said she brought to the court's attention the defendant's statements that the police bullied, insulted, and threatened them to get them to confess to being gay, and attempted to persuade them to undergo an anal exam again. An anal exam what is this? Purportedly, is that how it says? To test for sodomy. I'm going to say allegedly. Or allegedly to test for sodomy, which they refused. Why is this obsession with anal testing? It's not just Saudi. Again, think about it. If Tunisia, which is supposed to be the moderate, secular, tolerant, advanced, civilized Islamic country, not at all like Saudi Arabia. We just read a story that they were doing the exact same thing in Saudi Arabia. Anal testing to see if somebody's gay or not. Great job, Tunisia. Great job. You're like a lot like this is the best that you could expect from the Muslim world, guys. These are the examples that people give that how Islamic countries are not that bad. They give you Tunisia, they give you Malaysia, and they give you Indonesia. All of them are horrible examples for a healthy, secular society. This is what you get in Tunisia. This is the best you could expect from Islam, okay? Maybe Saudi Arabia and Pakistan and Iran are the worst, and Tunisia and Malaysia are the best. So yeah, this is what you get with the best. People think you're gay, they mess with your butthole. Go on.
I think this is like a continuation for the news we reported on a few weeks ago, where two men were arrested because they were suspected of sodomy. Like they didn't even one of them filed a case against another about a completely different thing, but somehow it led to the police investigating on them about having gay sex, and it led to anal exams. And this is how the Tunisia does it, because they I think signed a treaty or some agreement that they won't force people to undergo these anal tests. So they won't force them to undergo this, but the way they do this is they suggest anal test, but if the person refuses, they automatically charge him with suspicion of sodomy. So it's like really like even if they don't force it, they kind of force it, because if you agree and if you had gay sex, then you are caught. If you disagree, they will just think that you had gay sex, that's why you are disagreeing.
Michael Sherlock is saying, and the Danish immigration authorities argued that sending Nasser Amari back to Tunisia would pose no risk to his human rights or safety. Yeah, so for people who don't know, Nasser Amari is by LGBT member, and he is going to be sent back to Tunisia by the Danish immigration, thinking that it's not an issue. But I think maybe this court case will help Nasser Amari to re-examine his case. I don't know. All right.
No, the problem is not that. Like they think he's safe for being an atheist in Tunisia. About his bisexuality, they said they don't believe he's bisexual.
Oh yeah, they wanted him to. The Danish authorities wanted him to demonstrate how he's bisexual, which is hard. Yeah, they were like, have
you cannot
sex
prove it. Like how can you prove bisexuality? It's
demonstrate
not like you are 50-50. Like
yeah, no, they wanted demonstration. They're like, bring somebody here and perform for us in front of everybody for us to know that you're bisexual.
Well, it sounds like they want to do an anal exam, just like in all the other countries.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
I mean, actually, that can help. Actually, that can help, because just get someone who has anal sex and let them have the test, because NASA can just say, oh, I am Dom, I don't have it penetrated inside me, I am the one who penetrates.
No, Michael, I was making a joke because they were saying, no, you're not gay or you're not bisexual, prove it. Like, how? What are you suggesting?
Yeah. Okay,
I'm sorry.
Ethan.
It's not a funny thing, but I just.
No, it is. It's dark humor. It's fine. Ethan is saying, is sodomy in? Oh no, what? See, this is my is.
He
What?
misspelled sodomy. He misspelled
Okay, so
sodomy.
okay, is sodomy an essential element of gayness, or can people be gay without it? Well, the problem is that sodomy has no legal definition, so I don't know. It's a biblical term. Oh, here's a long comment. Should I read this? This is a long comment. Oh, okay. So this is from the Human Rights Report. This approach. Oh, here. This is about the anal test. Yeah, it's important. Let's read it. This is, by the way, on Twitch. So follow us on Twitch, guys. P2020 is saying this approach fails to recognize that consent is seriously compromised because trial courts can infer guilt from a refusal to undergo the exam. Human Rights Watch said, furthermore, the tests are of no scientific or evidentiary value in proving homosexuality. Indeed, such examinations, when forcible and are intrusive, invasive, and amount to cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment that violates international law. You know, even before you go to anal testing or whatever they're called, if you're even at the level of you have to prove to somebody that you're gay or bi, you're already like have crossed the red line that you shouldn't have been crossing as a government, I think, right? The only context what makes it okay for you to ask somebody to prove that they're gay is that if you're in a relationship with them and you're gay as well, and then something, something, then you realize maybe something else is going on. Maybe that's the only context. I don't know. But any government that, whether it's the Danish government or the Saudi government or the Yemeni government, if they come to you, even if they don't do anal testing, and they tell you like, hey, prove to us that you're gay or bi, then you know that the government has gone too far, right?
I mean, this actually happened to me, not with the government, of course, with a psychologist I had to go to, who told me, yeah, you are not attracted to you are not pansexual. Like, I mean, how can I prove it? Like, he said, did you ever have sex with guys? And I said, no, because back then I didn't. But how can I just prove it? Like, can I prove, like, yeah, I'm attracted to these people and certain people? Like,
wait, so you've been told
yeah,
to
I've been
prove,
told.
Subham has been told that to prove that he's a pansexual by a psychiatrist?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you say, Armin, what's your favorite color? And I say it's green. And like, okay, prove it. How am I going to prove that? How can I prove that my favorite color is green? It's impossible. You just have to take my word for it, right?
And the worst thing is, like, he made me take some tests, which back then I didn't know are like outdated and scientific tests, which are, like, I think right now banned in the UK as well. He made me take that test, and he said, okay, this test suggests that you are not pansexual. But when I researched about them and asked another psychologist, American psychologist, they said that, oh, these tests, even if they are outdated, they were never meant to test sexual orientation anyway. So he's just
Michael Sherlock saying technically the people anally probing people of the same sex are committing sodomy. Oh yeah, so the government. Oh, great job, Saudi Arabia's government and Yemen's government. You're now committing sodomy. Anyways, let's go to the next news. Turkey considering quitting treaty on violence against women ruling party. Oh, great job. Wow, that's great. Quitting treaty on violence against women. Nothing says more that we're okay with abusing women. Nothing says Islam is okay with wife beating. More like, hey, maybe let's quit the treaty on violence against women. Yeah, we want to protect our rights to commit violence against women because Islam, right? Let's see what the summary is. President Erdogan, AK party, is considering whether to pull Turkey out of an international accord designed to protect women. Party officials said, alarming campaigners who see the pact as key to combating rising domestic violence. Despite signing the Council of Europe's accord in 2011, pledging to prevent, prosecute, and eliminate domestic violence on and promote equality. Turkey saw 474 femicides last year, double the number seen in 2011, according to a group which monitors murder of women. Many conservatives in Turkey say the pact, ironically forged in Istanbul, encourages violence by undermining family structure. What the hell kind of argument is that? Anyways, what do you guys think? Hold on, let me see.
I think it
I
sounds
don't
like
even know what to say. Like,
one at a time.
okay, mine is short. I just think like it's so like telling about them that they want to create a treaty about violating women's rights. So I think it just blocked me. The site for some reason blocked me, so I cannot see the entire thing. But I think someone said that they say their beliefs and laws already have these things about not harming women, but as that's why they don't have to fear about quitting the treaty. But yeah, something that like that. They said something like that. But yeah, Rivka, you can continue.
I was going to say, it sounds like double speak, that, and it also sounds like they're just about to finish that sentence by saying, Muhammad was the first feminist, anyways, and Islam granted women's right. Leaving the treaty is how we protect women. We protect women by not protecting them because, it just sounds like circular thinking.
Yeah. By the way, Smithy, the word I think I used was femicide. I think is Is that the right word? Femicide, I think, means like killing a woman because they're women, right? That is a problem in Turkey. And these were the things that were trying to protect them. Yeah, I think the argument that they have is like all these liberal, Western stuff. They break down. They're against family structure. They destroy the family unit, and because they destroyed family unit, they're bad for women. So we are actually protecting women by removing the things that actually protects them. So that's the bizarre explanation they have for these kind of crappy stuff, right? Doorknob here is saying, so this is how bizarre world starts. The Mad Atheist saying they have been getting more and more hardcore Islam for years. Yes. AGA is saying subtitles for sub. Subham. It's okay, Subham. Don't be upset. They do that for me as well. Okay. All right. But here's the comment that people left here. The same thing is happening in Poland right now. Really sad thing to observe. Really, I didn't know this is also happening in Poland. I'm not sure if that's true. Kerry saying, I bet all Turkish women are pleased with that, especially the ones who voted for him. Unfortunately, that's actually true. Well, they are an Islamic country after all. Yeah, because religion. Yep. Good comments actually this time, unlike the last news. Let me. Oh wow, was this our? We only have one more left. We made great progress. Here, let me actually read one more comment by P2020 saying, so what are they wanting to replace the Istanbul Convention with? The Sharia? They just want to leave women in unprotected against the men in their life. That's what they want because Islam. I don't know the details though, but this is very much in accordance with what the Islamic leaders would want. What?
Doesn't quitting this treaty mean they can freely introduce laws to regressive laws to oppress women more and more in the future? Because if they were in the treaty, the other countries would say, hey, you are in the treaty, so you cannot do that. But now they have quit, so they are free to do that.
Smithy is giving us some very important information. He's saying, I'm making eggs with parmesan and ricotta cheese and barbecue sauce. Very good. Okay. All right, let's go to the last news. Historic bill to end female genital mutilation. Yay, finally. Wow, with all this crappy news, now we have some good news. Good way to end this. New Zealand first welcomes the passage of the crimes definition of female genital mutilation amendment bill today. Okay, so it's called the crimes crimes definition of female genital mutilation amendment bill today. Guys, these are really crappy names for bills. You guys have to come up with better names. All right, but it's a good bill though, which protects women and girls from abhorrent abuse. New Zealand First. Okay, New Zealand First is the name of the organization, I think. New Zealand First spokesperson for human rights, Jenny Markorft, MP, is delighted the bill passed all remaining stages today, signaling that FGM is unacceptable in New Zealand. Quote, no matter how rare the practice of FGM may be in our country, it is our duty to protect women and girls from the emotional and physical abuse, she said. Okay, I actually have a question. I'm not very sure about this anymore. First of all, I mean, from all the places we need this law, New Zealand seems to be one of the least important places. Like, how many FGM happens in New Zealand? Like, I was hoping, like, yay, bill to end FGM in Egypt, maybe, like, or some other North African country. That would have been like, but again, I guess this is a tinier win than I thought it was, but I guess we could take it. That's one point. Another point is, like, isn't the law don't the laws in New Zealand already protect taking sharp items at other people's genitals and cutting stuff off already? Like, aren't there laws in the books already? Shouldn't they already be stopping anybody from doing it? Like, okay, like, do we need laws that says, okay, you may not cut off people's genitals without their consent? And then do we need also laws on top of that? You also may not cut off people's noses without consent. Oh, and then let's also go, you also may not cut off people's earlobes without consent. Do we need a law for each one of these? Or that just a mere act of violence against people, innocent people, isn't that already covered under the laws that are on the books? What do you guys think?
I'm going to say that sometimes they are very specific, where they'll say, you know, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can do this. Only in this case can you do this if this specific set of circumstances is present. I mean, obviously, you can't come up with every possible scenario, but I have seen law written like that, particularly, you know, I don't know about the violence law, but, you know, I could see if they didn't say it specifically, then someone would say, well, it's because it's my religion and it doesn't, and it's called this, and you didn't, it's called A, and you didn't ban A, you only banned B, C, and D. You know, I'm not sure how the law in New Zealand works, but I do know I have seen laws that are written where they'll define what they mean and then explain what those things are within that definition.
Right. So, Daniel is saying, I'm surprised it wasn't against the laws there already. I probably was, but maybe, like, let's play, like, I'm gonna also defend it. Maybe from a symbolic perspective, even if it's not solving much of a problem in New Zealand, maybe it sends a signal to the world where this is okay. Maybe it sets up, you know, a role model for people's activists in other countries to show to their government that this is what the civilized world is doing. Maybe we should need to catch up with the rest of the civilized world. So maybe it has a more of an international effect from a symbolic perspective rather than much of an impact in New Zealand itself. So maybe in that way it's a good thing. Here we have a comment by Antimony saying, we have anti-FGM laws in Netherlands and the numbers are significant, but we have zero convictions. Wow, really, in Netherlands? That's horrible. Michael, who I'm legally obligated to read his comments because he's a member now, but I don't want to read his comments, is saying, but the New Zealand's unequivocal stance on this can act as a precedent that can spread throughout the world. Yes, unfortunately, I agree with Michael Sherlock. Again, this is very uncomfortable, but I agree with Michael Sherlock. And yeah, so
I'm going to interrupt you just to say I agree with that point, and I actually have to leave. I'm sorry I have to cut out early, but I got a situation.
You don't have to leave early because we're done. This is the last news, and we also had the last comment. So yeah, this was it. But yeah, goodbye, Rivka. Thank you. All right, so yeah, we finished the news.
I wanted to mention that Jenny Warcroft from New Zealand, she actually said that it doesn't matter how how rare the cases are in New Zealand, it is their duty to protect women and girls from abusive practices. So
Yeah, but
it just
yeah,
doesn't
but
matter.
but that's. I wasn't saying that there shouldn't be law protecting women if the numbers are low. I wasn't saying that. That was not my counterpoint. My point was like this is a smaller win that I thought it was. It's still a win. It's a smaller win compared to because I thought like it's a historic, it's big. I thought like oh my god, a country like I don't know Egypt said like we're gonna stop this. I mean, I actually never mind. But a bigger country like wait, didn't Egypt already recently outlaw FGM?
I was thinking about that. Some
Yeah,
African country actually did.
yeah,
Was it
some North
Egypt or
African.
Sudan?
Yeah,
Was it
some North
Sudan?
African countries. So that was a huge win. Again, so we can celebrate the small win, but that's a bigger win. I'm just saying. I'm just putting the thing in perspective. And also, the main criticism I had is that the laws already existing should stop this without need to specify. But again, sometimes you need to specify just to put out a message out there that this cut this out. Just cut it out, people. Cut it out. Right. So sometimes it makes sense to be more specific about the law. The Mad Atheist is saying woman, person, woman, man, camera, TV. Yeah, I did it. Thank you guys. What does that mean? Oh, that's a Trump reference. I got the reference. I got the reference. Ethan is saying, great show, guys. Always very informative. Thank you, Ethan. And thank you for being a member. And guys, you can be a member as well on our YouTube channel. Right next to the subscribe button, there's a join button. For everyone else, there's a link. You could become a patron. But again, reminder always, do not support us financially if you can't afford it. Please do not support us financially if you're struggling at all. If you're not, if you can't support us financially, just like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It's very easy. It just takes a few seconds. No, it doesn't take a few seconds. It takes a half a second. So why haven't you done it? Why? I'm looking at you. Why haven't you done it? If you are watching this show and you haven't liked and subscribed, explain to me what's wrong with you. What the hell is wrong with you? Just subscribe right now. Just now. There. Okay. All right. Oh yes, Michael Sherlock is confirming Egypt banned FGM in 27. It's still happening though in Egypt today, but that is huge progress. That was a huge progress. Egypt is more progressive than New Zealand. LOL. Okay. Well, no, because New Zealand didn't think it was necessary. Justin is saying Daniel Muscato of the woke cult is the new Karen after picturing a Kroger employee. Cancel culture is backfiring. I don't know what that's in reference to, but I'll look it up. Maybe I'll make a video of it. Oh yeah, guys. By the way, if you want to if you want to recommend videos for me to review on our YouTube channel and our Twitch, what you can do, let me show you guys. We have a Discord server now. So if you go to our Discord server, hold on one second. Atheist Republic's Discord server, which is linked in the description. You could go to here. If you go to Atheist Republic and then go to video recommendations, you could send videos here, and I'll do a live stream and recover them. If they're good, I'll cover them on one of the live streams. Right? Justin is also saying GoFundMe has raised about 15,000 for Kroger. Andy, I need to look into this. This seems important. Muscada made a bad move with this one, claiming assault and manager doing. Okay, I need to see what this is about because I don't know what the context of all of this is. Anyways, let's guys follow Subham. Link in the description. Follow go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He has some very unique takes from inside India about Hinduism related stuff and about trans and gay related stuff in India. Show him some love. Follow him. And yeah, support him and share his content everywhere if you're interested in that stuff. Okay, link in the description. Do it. Love you guys. Bye. Oh wait, Michael is saying great job, Subham. Armin, do better. Bye.